In today's episode, we're finishing up the town and we build a fortified island to protect the trading port. Welcome to a new video on the single player world. In today's episode, I'll be finishing up the last bits of the town, and we're starting off with connecting up the gatehouse to the tunnel we dug. Instead of a drawbridge, I went for a more simple design that in case of danger they could drop into the ravine, giving them a natural defensive border. And that should do it. The first big building in this episode is gonna be this large complex. It's gonna house the local school of this area, and with this amount of space we can handle a few classrooms. We even have a bigger room that can be used for activities that need more space. I love the idea of some rooms being used to teach the common folk the basics of sailing and navigation, while the more established kids of merchants and traders learn the more hands-off tasks like languages, strategizing, and commanding crews. This leads to a nice dynamic that also represents how this town is set up. The second building is going to be the first one a person sees when entering this city. It's the garrison or the military training facility, where people learn how to not only use melee weapons but also ranged and artillery varieties. Most of the people who finish their apprenticeship over here will probably go and join the local protection guild and be stationed in the city itself or on a serving vessel. Now we can spend some time putting in the last bit of road around these buildings. At the mansion wall, I extended the little garden we made to thin out the road a bit more, and in the schoolyard I'm adding some benches, some goalposts, a swing, and so on for the kids to have fun during their breaks on or after school. And that should be it for the city. Without really planning it, I also have 3 guilds to represent themselves in the council building. We've got the Merchants/Sailing Guild, the Military Guild, and lastly the Craftsmen that are scattered around the town. The Protection Guild needs a base of operations though. That would be helpful in case of a last resort when needed. But before we could even start building that, we need to do some resource collection. A fortress needs a good solid base, so I started transforming the Iron Farm Island with a fortified wall . The lower one sticks out a couple of blocks above the waterline, and the second, more inward wall will put our fortress a little higher than that. The fort itself is a big, robust, simple building near the water's edge. Before I started building though, I did turn off the iron farm, as I don't want iron golems to spawn on all the blocks that I'm placing. The walls are pretty bare, and outside of some arrow slits, there is no window, mostly because I want it to feel as a purely defensive structure. Another way of showing this is to put some wooden ramparts in between the corner towers. Once we come level to the top of the iron farm, we can lose the towers and extend the main structure a couple blocks. I'm putting all the floors. We need to be careful to make sure that we don't use any spawnable blocks here. That way I don't break my iron farm. And with the staircase and the floors in, it seems like the golems are still spawning where they should be. So let's build another smaller building on the other side of the island. I added in a bit of a ground texture to differentiate from the walls, and now I just have to add in some foliage, some lighting, and just some general decoration blocks around the island itself. As a bit of an extra decoration, I decided to put some cannons on the keep. They're bigger than the ones that I use on the gunship, but that kinda makes sense in my head. And with the guns in place, I think this keep is as good as done. This is kind of the vibe that I want to go for. I like it a lot. The little tinge of green that the bushes add is more than enough because I want it to look bare and purely defensive. But that's gonna be it for the building today. One thing that I have to do is I have to update the map. And that makes a full map, which signifies the end of this episode. I truly hope that you liked it because I surely did. If you did, hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!